Hey friend, Preston Schmidli with Good Vibe Squad here. And in this video, I'm really excited to talk with you about how to take somebody who you might have previously had great conversation with that has since ghosted you and re-engage them and get them interested in the conversation again. Now, there's a few different things to take into consideration on this and different approaches for you to go through. So part of this is circumstantial. I'll do my best to walk you through the workflow for this though. If you have any questions as normal, please feel free, reach out in our user group, in our private user group. We're happy to help give you any support that we can. But we'll dive through my ghost killer strategy to help you pull as many of these people back as you can and get them re-engaged so that you can get them in at 1003, get them to, a conditional approval, clear to close, and then a fully funded loan. All right. So let's break down what it means first and foremost when you are working with a borrower. You have a great, you have some great dialogue and then they ghost you. What does that mean? Well, the first thing is it's really important for you to self-assess and ask yourself, did we really have a great conversation or did I have a great conversation? Because those can be two separate things. So let me give you an example of this. If you had a conversation with somebody and let's say it's via text message or email and you have a lot of big paragraphs and then they have 1 or 2 word answers and then you have another big paragraph and then they have a 1 or 2 word answer, it's fair to say that you didn't have a good conversation collectively. You just, they gave you the floor to talk without, they were too nice to say no, essentially, or they wouldn't say no. They didn't want to be impolite or direct. They just, they kind of let you talk and just kind of gave you the thumbs up, right? And so you have to ask yourself, was it truly a good conversation? Because the alternative is maybe it wasn't, and maybe you kind of romanticized it because somebody finally, maybe you were on a bad streak and somebody finally, gave you a moment, right? And they heard you out. That doesn't exactly warrant a good conversation. Now, you're going to have lots of great conversations through the Fast Track the More Loans platform. However, every now and then something doesn't go perfect and you'll have somebody that will ghost you, right? It's a matter of time. So the first thing that I do want to go over here is after you've kind of self-assessed, you want to dive into the first part of the process, which is what we call retreat and reapproach. Now, if you've been working with this prospect, maybe you had some good conversation. You talked about a program that you have and they were like, that's awesome. Send me some information. You send them the information. That's generally where people will ghost. It's after information. And from what I can gather, the reason for that is because, they have to confront the fact that now they actually know less than they thought they knew because there's more information, and what you gave them that was supposed to answer questions actually created more questions. And so now they're generally more confused than they were starting the process, which is not a good thing, right? So to retreat and reapproach means that we're not going to continue to harp on the exact same thing. I see this from time to time where somebody will be like, hey, are you available? Sorry we couldn't make it. Can you talk now? Hey, just following up. Want to make sure you're good. Let's talk. Hey, we haven't talked for a while. It's like that's needy. That's not a good approach, right? Because it doesn't offer any new value. It's not sharing or communicating with this borrower that working with you is a valuable experience. So what we do is at the 7-day mark is what I would recommend to you. At about 7 days of gap in communication, you retreat and then you reapproach to attack from a new angle. And so the way that we do the retreat and reapproach concept is through a simple 3-part ghost killer strategy. Okay, very simple, very duplicatable, very easy to remember. First step is essentially reaching out via text to the prospect and saying, let's say the prospect's name is Susan. Hey, Susan, Preston here with ABC Mortgage. And I was just reading an article about, healthcare workers like yourself that were looking to buy a home in the general Tacoma, Seattle area. That's the first part. Here's part 2. And it gave me a few great ideas that I think would really help you out. And then part 3, do you have a quick 5 minutes to chat? Let's break this down a little bit. So part 1 is we're talking about, I just read an article about something that, I'm making it specific to them. It's about people in your situation looking to buy a house in where you would like to buy the house. So in this example, this person was a healthcare worker looking to buy a house in the Tacoma, Seattle area, right? Very specific. Now, that makes what I'm saying to them very exclusive, right? So now their status is raised. I'm raising their status. The second part of it says, and that gave me a few great ideas that I think would really help you out. Now I'm telling them, because of your heightened status, this gives you potential access to exclusive benefits that you may not have had before. And then the third is, do you have a quick 5 minutes to chat? Okay. And what this says is, now, due to your heightened status, that gives you potentially exclusive benefits, and it might be incredibly easy and fast, right? So we're adding a lot of value. We're communicating a lot of value, and we're telling them it'll be a quick conversation, right? Which is really cool, because psychologically, there's three main drivers when people decide to make a purchase, right? Think of Black Friday. Black Friday is the perfect storm of all three. You have scarcity, urgency, and exclusivity. There's only going to be 10 of these TVs that we're selling for $150, but you have to go in store to this location, right? So it's exclusive to people around the area. It's urgent because it's only on Black Friday, and it's scarce because it's only the first 10. Black Friday sales triggers the worst of human psychology because it's exclusive, urgent, and it's scarce, right? So those are three things that make people buy. And the reason I like this 3-part ghost killer strategy that we've been implementing for clients for a long time now is because, when you say you have an article about, whatever their situation is, let's say it's a healthcare worker. I read an article about healthcare workers like yourself in the general Tacoma, Seattle area. They're buying homes. Gave me a few great ideas that I think will really help you out. Now I've increased your status, which makes it more exclusive. And I've told you that there's good ideas behind that. So that exclusivity is going to drive a purchase, which I didn't have before potentially, right? So you want to find ways as much as you can to take that urgency, scarcity, and exclusivity and harness that within the borrower to get them to buy, okay? And then the quick 5 minutes to chat. Generally, this will start getting conversations with people that have previously ghosted you. Now, when that fails, there is a Hail Mary attempt, and this is what's called a takeaway in sales verbiage. Now, whether you've done takeaways or not in the past, it's very important for you to consider them for your mortgage business, and this is why. Well, if they've ghosted you, you have nothing to lose. It's very simple, right? That's ultimately the best reason. And so here's essentially what a takeaway looks like. At the 21-day mark of no conversation, so roughly 3 weeks, okay? It doesn't have to be exactly 21 days, but this is just a recommendation. It could be 14 days. It could be 30 days. It's up to you to choose what you feel is right for the person. But this is what essentially you want to reach out with. Hey, Susan, let's just say it's the same person. Hey, Susan, this is Preston with ABC Mortgage. I'm reaching out one more time to let you know that I'm going to close out your request because there's a limited amount of benefits that we have to use with the people in our program. And due to your unresponsiveness, I have to give benefits to other families that have been waiting to see if there would be benefits left over. So you have 24 hours to respond to this to let me know if you're still interested in this. And if not, we'll just close it out so that we can give these benefits to somebody else. Thank you, and look forward to hearing from you. And if not, that's fine. I wish you well. A message like that is called a takeaway. And what it does is it tells the client or the potential borrower, hey, the clock is ticking. You have 24 hours. Literally, if you do not respond, you will lose access to these exclusive benefits. There's now urgency due to the time frame. There's scarcity because I've communicated there's more people requesting the benefits than the benefits themselves. And there's urgency, right? So you have scarcity, urgency, and exclusivity about these benefits for healthcare workers. It's a perfect storm. If the first wave at 7 days with the 3-part ghost killer strategy doesn't work, falling back to a takeaway anywhere between 14 to 30 days is a fantastic way to get these people, kind of re-engaged with the process. Now, when you've done both of these strategies, it's very important for you, regardless of the outcome, to have an academic approach and mindset to this. Generally, if people ghost you, it's because of one of two reasons, okay? First, you didn't give them enough reasons to trust you at the beginning, okay? That's the hardest to overcome. The second, you didn't give them the right type of value early in the transaction or the process. And so that one's much easier to overcome. But the most important one for you to analyze is, could I have made this, could I have done something to communicate trust and connection and rapport earlier in the conversation? Study that, become obsessed with that, because the faster you can develop better rapport and trust, the more loans you're going to close, whether it's referrals, paid traffic, whatever the case is. Building trust is such an under-communicated and necessary skill for you to have. So I hope that that helps. If you have people that ghost you, you will from time to time. Come back to this video if you need a refresher. We're happy to help. If you have any questions, reach us in the Facebook group, and we will see you in the next video.